if you are struggling to gain weight, you're trying to bulk, you're trying to gain muscle, but it's not necessarily happening for you, then I am happy to tell you that you have most likely got bulking wrong.
Good morning, everyone. I just woke up, I've overslept. I was meant to be at the gym in, I think, like 4 minutes. It's currently 7:55 or 7:56. I was meant to be at the gym at 8, so I've overslept. I set my alarm for 7, but thanks to this little thing, my sleep's got a lot better, and I don't think I heard my alarm. So, what can you do? But today we've got a good video for you, right? So I'm going to show you how I train my legs. Now, I've filmed one lower body video before, a leg day video before, but you haven't seen me train the entire leg properly because the last leg day I did was a hamstring focused leg day, but this one is going to just include everything, right? More primarily quad, to be honest with you. But you know, we all want to grow our quads because they're the most aesthetically pleasing muscle in the legs. Um, but you know, I'm looking like I'm looking like a ghost right now. So I need to get up. And I'll catch you guys in a second.
That's better than the last clip. I'm awake. I've just shown you my little pre-workout signature formula. If you guys didn't know, by the last clip, I work out really early in the morning. So, especially because I'm doing legs today, I don't want to have too much of a heavy stomach, and you don't want to have too much of a heavy stomach when you're working out in general because then you're just gonna feel a little bit bleh, right? And you don't want to be sick. You want to use that food as fuel. You don't want to use that food to let it bring you down. So if you're like me and you're working out, early in the morning and you don't have too much time for your body to wake up, and you don't have too much time to let your body digest food and pre-workout food, then you want to have things really light, right? So in the last clip, you just saw that I had water, obviously to help wake up my body, all of that good stuff, and I had Himalayan pink salt in it, which is A, going to help the pump, B, they're electrolytes, so they're just going to help, help our body operate. And one more thing that I would highly actually there's two more things, but one more thing I've got here is a banana. Really light on the body. It's a long releasing carbohydrate. A long releasing carbohydrate. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll watch it back, but what I'm still waking up. But it basically, a long releasing carbohydrate basically means that the energy from this takes longer to release once it's entered your body. There is short releasing carbohydrates, or quick releasing carbohydrates, which basically just release in your body really quickly, such as honey, which is the other thing I'd recommend before your workouts. And obviously carbohydrates in general just give you a lot of energy. But yeah, if you find yourself eating not long before you work out, I'd highly recommend a banana. Get some pink salt down you. Hydrate your body with some water. Obviously, you need to. Water's essential. But I just sort of touch on that. But as you guys know, I'm training legs today. But it's not really any other leg day. Or it's not like a normal leg day because. Hold on, I'm just gonna turn that. Oh shit. As I was saying, today's leg day is not like any other leg day. You may ask why. Well, number one, I'm very grateful that I'm going on holiday next week with my family. We're going to Gran Canaria, which would be very nice. So I want to train hard and I want to fucking push myself today. Reason number two is if you're, oh my goodness gracious me, if you are a regular watcher of this channel, you will know that you would have heard me talk about me doing a leg day where I threw up for the first time in the gym, where I train with my cousin who's a veteran in the gym. He's taught me a lot every time I speak to him. And I messaged him basically the other day. I'll put the chat on the screen so you can follow along. But it was after a back day. I just filmed one of my sets. I asked him how my form was. I sent him a video of my physique saying like what do you think? And he said form's good, which is great because that's one thing that's really important for growing muscle, as you know, if you're watching my channel. technique on exercises is super important. And you know, even though I'm 4.5 years into my journey, I'm still wanting to improve, right? But that's good that he said that my form was good, and he also said that my upper body development looks like it is pissing on my lower body development. And in simple terms, that basically means that I need to grow my legs, right? So, you know, I don't think my legs are bad, but you know, everything can still be improved, right? And I kind of knew that anyway, but that just solidified that, you know, that want to fucking just train my legs so hard. So I'm going to, you know, this is a bit personal. I want to push my limits, and another reason being is because I'm going to send this video over to my cousin because he wants to see my leg training. So in today's video, you are going to see me bust my ass training legs, right? I'm going to start with single leg calf raises, and then I'm going to move into the adductor machine, which is basically if you're in a quad. I wouldn't worry about it if you're a beginner. I'm also going to then go into lying down hamstring curls. I'm then going to go into leg extensions, and then I'm going to get into leg press, and then at the end I'm going to do what is called a Bulgarian split squat of death. And this Bulgarian split squat of death I would not recommend to a beginner because it is the single most painful thing I've ever done in the gym, right? This Bulgarian split squat drop set of death, my cousin actually introduced to me. And every time I've done it with mates, like I've introduced my mates to it, they're fucked. It's funny. But basically, it's absolutely brutal. So you get 3 different weights, right? And you do Bulgarian split squats, obviously. It's basically a triple drop set. So you do 8 reps with the first weight, and then on the 8th rep of the Bulgarian split squat, you hold it at the bottom for 8 seconds, and then you just repeat that again and again with, you know, and you drop the weight, and it is the most painful thing. So you do 24 reps on each leg, and you hold it for 24 seconds at the bottom of the rep in total, and then you've got to do that for another leg. It is the most like painful thing you'll ever do, but you know what they say, good things don't come to those. Good things don't come easy, right? You've got to work for them, and if I'm being honest, the best I feel after any training session is the training session where I feel lightheaded, where I feel sick, and where I feel like I'm about to pass out, right? And I actually do have a pretty funny leg day story about that. So this was a few months ago, right? This was a few months ago. I was training with a friend, and um, I wanted to really put him through the fucking works, right? So this leg day, I wasn't even prepared for it. We did the Bulgarian split squat drop set of death, and I genuinely tell you, it was awful because this gym we trained at was the gym group, right? And it has it has 3 floors, right? And we were doing Bulgarian split squats on the bottom floor, and then changing rooms upstairs, which was probably a stupid idea in hindsight, and it was. And the reason I say that was a stupid idea was because I did the Bulgarian split squat set. I felt extremely lightheaded. I genuinely did not know where I was. Like if I could describe, if I could define what it's like to be on drugs but not, that is probably the feeling I would say. It was a euphoric feeling, right? I got up because I wanted to go to the toilet, and just I felt like I was going to be sick, right? I got up, I almost stumbled over because my legs were so heavy, like they were so gone, I could barely walk. I was literally limping, right? When I went up the stairs, I couldn't walk up the stairs. I had to like sort of dip myself up the stairs with the banisters on the side. I literally couldn't walk upstairs. I had to carry myself up the stairs. And then oh, it was horrible. And then and then I went into the toilet, or the changing room, I should say. And because it's not my normal gym, I didn't know where the toilets were. And I saw the showers, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go into the shower. I literally collapsed in the shower. I lied down with my feet up, and I was there for like 5 minutes. I did not give a shit that it was wet on the floor. There was literally a shower just dripping on my face as well. I was like that for probably 10 minutes, and then I went downstairs to my mate and I was like, yeah, I'm all good. After that session, even though that was the worst I felt, because that was the worst I've felt and the most I've ever pushed myself, the best I felt for the next 4 to 5 hours, right? And it just goes to show that you know, put yourself through temporary discomfort now, and the rewards are and the rewards and the emotions and the feelings you get after outweigh the temporary pain by so much. Honestly, that was I felt so complete. I felt so fulfilled. I felt like I can't really describe how I felt after. As I said, it was like being naturally on drugs when I felt euphoric after the set, but the um after the session, and when I was having these good feelings and emotions, it felt like a spiritual awakening. Like it was deeper than just feeling good after a session. I can't explain it. But I don't do that all the time. I have those sessions once every one in a while. And it might happen that, you know, this session might be one of those sessions. So jump along for the ride. But I'm gonna get to the gym now because I was meant to be at the gym 20 minutes ago, I think. I'm dragging you guys on a little bit too long. And I want to get training. I want to get training hard. I'm going to put some music on. I'm going to eat the banana whilst I'm on my way to the gym. It's a Saturday. The weather's beautiful in England. So you know what better day to do a leg day, right? So as you saw at the beginning of the video, when I was talking about how everyone has bulking wrong, I truly mean it, right? From someone who has gained over 27 kilos. Everybody has bulking wrong, and I'm about to completely change your mind. So wait until the end of the video and I will completely change your mind about bulking. I'm so confident that will happen.
Let it be all this. Let it be all this. Let it be all this.
So, Bulgarian split squat drop set of death. Let me explain how this works. So, if you think leg extensions is hard and painful and difficult, you've not experienced, well, obviously you have, but like this is up there. This is on the same level of leg extensions in terms of pain, having to grit your teeth and just get through it no matter what, right? So the Bulgarian split squat drop set of death was created by a man named John Meadows. And as you can see on the floor, I've got 3 dumbbells. I've got a 12.5 kilo dumbbell, I've got a 7.5 kilo dumbbell, and I've got a 5 kilo dumbbell. I'm going to, on each leg, right, I'm going to do 8 reps with 1 dumbbell. And then when I get down to the 8th rep, right, you hold it at the bottom for 8 seconds, right? And then once you've done that, you drop the weight and you do the same thing twice over. So, as I said earlier, you're essentially doing 24 reps and holding it for 24 seconds on each leg. Last time I did this was that story I was telling you about, where I literally felt euphoric. I didn't know where I was, literally on natural drugs. But you're not meant to do this often. Like, the man who created it says you should do it like once every 3 weeks, once a month, because it's that brutal, right? As good as it is for growth, you don't want to be doing it all the time. And the fact that you do it every so often will actually benefit your growth more than if you were to do it every week. And I'll get into that in relation to the topic that I was talking about earlier, in terms of how everyone thinks bulking's wrong, that this situation and how you're meant to do this every 3 weeks is really applicable. But in terms of Bulgarian split squats, let me give you a little tip or two. So with Bulgarian split squats, in this situation, I'm going to be targeting my quadriceps, right? I've already done hamstrings, the glutes, all of the leg is going to be targeted, but this is how you target the quads. So what normal people do, they just do a normal Bulgarian split squat like this, right? But this doesn't necessarily target the quads because they're not bringing their knee forward, right? This is how you differentiate the biases between a Bulgarian split squat. It's how your knee comes down in a rep, right? So in order to target your quad, you want to try and bring your knee down to the point where it covers your vision of your foot below you, right? So you want your knee to come over the top of your foot, not back, because that's the hamstrings and glutes, but you want it to come forward so you can target the quads, right? So you want to come down just like this, and as you can see, my knee is technically further forward than my foot, right? And this is just going to put all the tension on the quad. And in order to isolate the quad when you push up, you just want to push through your heels, right? You want to do that. See so many people making a mistake of using all their might to push to the point where their heel comes off the floor. But then you're going to be like, bringing in your calves and like, you're just completely taking your isolation out of the quads. So in order to target the quads and Bulgarian split squats, you want to bring your knee further forward than your feet and push through your heels when you go up. Now, I'm about to put myself through brutality, right? These are the sets that matter. These are the sets that make you, not just physically, but mentally. So, you've just got to remember, one thing I really like to think about during these sets, during these painful times, is you're fine, right? You're not dead, are you? You're just putting yourself through a little bit of pain. And as I've said in previous videos, the body doesn't know that this pain is good pain, it's productive pain, it's growth pain, right? So poor body doesn't necessarily know what you're doing, but you've just got to show your body who's fucking boss and get the work done, right? So it's just you and the muscle, it's you and the mind. It's whether you want to grow enough or not. Do you really want it? Then you've got to fucking show it. That's 8. Let's go. One more. Fucking more. One more. Let's fucking go. Two more. One more. Hold it. If anyone walks in right now, I'm fucked. Alright. Because I feel lightheaded now and I'm in the gym, I may as well just end the video here, but end the video by telling you what people are doing wrong with bulking, because as I just said, 99% of people just do the wrong thing. Not do the wrong thing, but perceive bulking in a really twisted way. So, the fact that, alright, so with bulking, you're meant to eat in a calorie surplus. And a calorie surplus refers to eating more calories than your body would require of you normally. So you are going to be eating a lot of food in relation to your size and your body weight, right? Because you're going to be eating more than your daily requirements. So it is going to be difficult. It will get tricky. Along journeys and conquests to growth, to achieving growth at the end, you are going to stumble on some hurdles, some obstacles, some bottlenecks. It will get hard to eat food at times. It will get hard to drag yourself out of bed and go to the gym. It will be hard to do those final 5 reps and leg extensions, but they are the things that help you the most, right? So in terms of this way of thinking, that only 1% of people, the top 1% of people perceive bulking to be, that is why they're successful. So what 99% of people don't realise is that you achieve something through its opposite, right? So if you want to achieve consistency in the gym, you've got to be aware that being inconsistent at times is completely fine. Or if your goal is to get disciplined, then I'm speaking a bit quieter because the music just turned off in the gym. If your goal is to be disciplined, then being undisciplined at times is how you're going to get there. Or this is the thing with bulking, right? You need to apply this mindset of you achieve something through its opposite to bulking, right? With bulking, objectively, you eat lots of food in relation to your size, as I just said, right? And why I say in relation to your size, because someone like me, who's weighing 69 kilos right now, needs to eat a lot less than someone who is 6'5" and 140 kilos and trying to bulk, right? My surplus to them is probably like their cut, or like really low for them, right? So as I said, it's all in relation. But objectively, for us, we have to eat lots of food. So in order to do that, you've got to do its opposite. So in order to eat lots of food, you've got to eat as little food as you can to keep eating more, right? Because so many people say with bulking, eat big to get big, and I've talked about this in loads of videos on YouTube. But people and the reason why so many people fail when they say like, oh, like I'm eating everything I possibly can and I'm not gaining weight. The reason they're not gaining weight is because they're trying to eat as much as possible, which makes it harder for them, right? However, if they try to eat as little as possible, meaning, you know, reduce the volume and increase the calorie density, so have as many calories in the smallest volume possible, then you're going to have more room to eat more food to grow, right? And to put it into perspective with the consistency example, in order to be consistent, you have to be inconsistent as well. So, no human is like biologically capable of being consistent with their habits 24/7, 52 weeks, 365 days a year, without needing to have some downtime, right? Because if you are trying to be consistent that much, then your biology, your body is going to burn out, like it's inevitable, right? The human body needs to rest, recover, and to put it into perspective, if us humans didn't sleep, we would die, right? So that's the importance of recovery to the human body. So if you want to be consistent with something, you need to let go every now and then and be inconsistent to then fuel your motivation to be consistent again, right? It's like with diet, so many people think cheat meals are bad, for example, when they're losing weight, or in our case, when we're trying to gain weight, right? But obviously we want to eat clean, and this is another thing. If you want to have a clean diet for a long period of time, and if you want to make everlasting changes to your diet, you've also got to let yourself go a bit and have some junk food, have a cheat meal every now and then, right? Because then that's going to satisfy your cravings. And because we keep satisfying your cravings, you're going to be wanting to be clean more and more as we go. However, if you just try to, if you just cut out shit foods on one day, right, and you go for 8 weeks being clean, fantastic to you, but you're eventually going to give in to your cravings and you're going to go completely off track. You're going to lose all your progress, and you're going to wonder what the fuck happened, right? So having a cheat meal every now and then is the key to having a clean diet in the long term, right? We don't want to go 2 steps up the ladder and 3 steps down, right? We want to keep going 1 step up, 1 step up, 1 step up. And sometimes when we're climbing the ladder, we may need to take a little bit of a breather, right? Because if we keep climbing up the ladder constantly trying to go to the next step without break, then we're going to burn out and then we're going to fall back down, right? So you may need to rest on 1 step on the ladder for a little bit longer, meaning you may have to be inconsistent, you may have to eat a cheat meal, you may have to be ill-disciplined for a week, right? It's completely fine as long as you're consistent with as long as you have a plan and as long as you do it sensibly and you don't eat cheat meals every day, you don't not go to the gym all the time, then it's completely fine to do that. And that is a really powerful way of thinking, right? You always achieve something through its opposite. If you want to be consistent, you have to be inconsistent at times. And I've got one more example for you, right? If you want to be smart at something, you have to be willing. If you want to be smart, you've got to be stupid to be smart, right? And what I mean by that is if you want to learn something and become good at something, for example, the gym, right? but you're not willing to put yourself, if you want to become smart and knowledgeable about the gym, if you're not willing to put yourself in stupid shoes, you know, think like a toddler, you know, have the humility to be stupid, then you're never going to learn because your ego is going to get in the way. Because if you think you're smart, then you're not going to bother learning, right? So if you want to be smart at something, you have to be willing to be stupid first, because that is the only way you're going to be, you're going to have the humility to want to learn, right? So that's just one thing. But this talk has helped me a lot with recovering from that set, and now this is the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching if you made it this far. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. If you don't, drop it in the comments below. I hope this has motivated you to train hard, push your limits, because that is the only way you're going to grow. You know, you heard that self-talk. That's something that really helps me. And one more thing, if you are trying to bulk, you're trying to gain muscle, but you feel a little bit lost, you want some guidance, or you're not necessarily making the progress you want to, I have a free community. There's going to be the top link in the description down below. And I've also got 9 spots left on a more premium program where you have more access to me, and you know, I will help you gain 7 to 10 kilos in 180 days guaranteed. So if you do want to gain 7 to 10 kilos, you want to speed up the process, you want to you know, avoid all the fluff, avoid all the mistakes that you may be making or that I made on my journey, and you want to gain 7 to 10 kilos in 180 days, join the free community, message me about it, we can hop on a call and see if you're a good fit. But if you did enjoy this video and you want to stay around, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment down below, drop a subscription. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. See you in the next one.